Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Polar Mustang. A little bit different video today. I just wanted to talk about the idea of potentially liquidating. Um, it's a topic that's come up with a lot of people right now, especially if you have some sort of collection you've acquired over time. It might seem like the cards you have are worth a lot of money, potentially a life-changing amount of money for a lot of people. I know for me, it has now officially gotten to the point recently where I'm considering liquidating. So I kind of wanted to post this video just to do a little bit of a collection flex. And then if you see this video, let me know your thoughts. Obviously, liquidating depends on everyone's situation. Everyone's going to have different opinions on how the longevity of this market is going to look like. But I thought, someone might be interested to see what a genuine collection looks like. I've been collecting One Piece for about almost 2 years now, I'd say. And so this is what it's gonna look like. Just a preface, I'm a big fan of One Piece. For anyone who says I'm not a fan, I'm not a Pokebro. I actually am very unfamiliar with Pokemon. I never played any of the games growing up or watched the show. But I do love One Piece. It's very near and dear to my heart. My old roommate put me onto One Piece, and I will forever be grateful to him for that. Um, Regardless of that, one of the first things I did when I started playing One Piece was to assemble a leader collection. That just seemed like the most logical thing because they were some of the best looking cards. They were, at the time, the face cards that looked extremely gorgeous. I still to this day think they're good. I really like the compass background, and they're very consistent and they're very iconic to me when I think about this game. Another thing I like about the leader cards is when I was new to the game, whatever deck you played, the ult you pretty much wanted first and the most was the leader ult. In fact, a lot of people will play a completely common deck and not have anything ulted out but the leader. And so to me, it made sense. If you played the game lineup, you'll see every now and then a random leader will pop up into the meta that wasn't good. A good example would be like OP1 Dofi. And it's like, oh, all of a sudden this leader's good. And if you have every leader, let's say some leader like Black Smoker randomly becomes good in OP9 or Purple Luffy, you can just bust out the alt leader. So I decided to start a leader collection. I became very aggressive with it. And this is my leader collection, and then I'll go over into what the rest of my collection is. I'm going to try to talk about some of these cards, maybe some of them I'll go over how I acquired them. I'd say almost all of these cards I grabbed at below what they're worth now. So first one is going to be this Zoro. I'm going to say the price of each card as I go along with the video, and at the end I'll tell you what the total is. I've already tallied it myself right before I hit record. But this is Zoro OP1. This is one of the leaders I almost bought first when I first joined the game. This is like the very first leader I used for like a week. So it's very near and dear to me. It was pretty cheap at the time, and always was like a good beginner leader, I'd say. And I remember when I first joined the game, the leader was probably like about $120, and I was like, man, that's pretty expensive, and I ended up regretting it. I ended up getting this leader for about like 250. And yeah, that's my Zoro leader. I should figure out somewhere to put these. I'll put it off to the side. So next up is I'm gonna try to do them in order. It's gonna be Law. This is also from OPO1. Uh, Law is one of my favorite characters, and so I got this card as a gift for my birthday, actually, which I very much appreciate. And I love this leader. It's I love Supernova as an archetype in this game, and this leader is about $740 right now. And as I say these prices, I'm not going to be saying what the lowest listed is. I'm going to be going at what it is sold at recently. Some of these leaders, I'm going to be pretty generous with their prices. Some of them it might be too high or too low, but like this leader might say its lowest listing is 1,000, but it's only sold for 740. So I'll say it's at 740. This would be Doflamingo from OPO1. This leader used to terrorize me, but I ended up getting pretty good at the matchup. This leader goes for about $350. Next up is going to be OPO1 Odin. I'm trying to speed through these. This leader I got for about $40, which was awesome. It's about $175 right now. Next up is King. This leader I got for about $20. I ended up trading a $20 alt Probably an alt that's not even played anymore. A lot of these leaders and cards I have, I traded cards that were like meta relevant at the time that are suddenly irrelevant. And for me, I wanted a leader collection, but in hindsight, trading a alt that will be power creeped eventually for an OPO1 alt, it's a pretty good deal. So at least in my favor. So this is King, really cool character, really sick design for this alt. He's 175 right now. Next up is Crocodile. I ended up buying this off TCG Player for like 50 bucks. I want to say maybe a year ago or so. He's about 175 right now. Also really good looking. Oh, this is Kaido. Actually not a fan of this art too much, but he's going for about 200 bucks. And that's going to wrap up the OPO1 leaders. Hopefully I can speed through this. About Edward Newgate. I got about him for about 80 bucks. And there's something about his face that creeps me out here. Gonna be honest. Next up is Garp. I used to not really like this leader. Then Newgate's going for about 145, by the way. And this Garp's going for about 170. Um, but I do like the crying. I used to not like it with this leader, but he's crying over Ace. Spoiler alert. So it means a lot. Next up, this Sanji. I actually traded an SR Cavendish for this when Cavendish was like 40 bucks. That's a perfect example. I traded a card that ended up getting reprinted like a year later or so, or 6 months later. This was like $40 at the time. And it's like, okay, it's a whatever $40 leader. Who could have foresaw? For me, I was like, this is a steal. At the time, it was like the only or second only Sanji leader. And I was like, this is from OP2? This is awesome. Like, super old. He's going for about 180 right now. He's spiked a lot recently. Next up, he's Ivankov. This is when I was building my leader collection. I was like, let me just buy all the cheap ones right away. So, like, these I got for pretty cheap. Um, I got Vonkov's about $80 right now. I want to say I got this for about like 30 bucks. This I for sure got for 20 or below dollars. This is around $60 right now. Magellan, Zephyr. I hate this leader. I've not seen the movies in. He's going for about 35 bucks right now. Next up is Smoker. I ended up pulling this leader from an OPO2 box and selling it at the height of Smoker for about 100 bucks. And I ended up rebuying it when he went down to like, I don't know, maybe 60 a while back after he became irrelevant. He's about 100 bucks right now. Next up is Kinemon. He's about 60 bucks. And now we're going to move on to OPO3. I actually pulled this Kinemon from a raw OPO2 pack the first month I was playing the game. It was a pack from the Bandai store. And I actually didn't know that I pulled this Kinemon until it was in my trade binder. I didn't know what alt leaders were. That's how new I was to the game. I ended up holding onto this card. There are a lot of times where I almost traded it when I was new, so I'm glad I didn't. Here's Nami. I ended up getting this like the week she got banned, but before she got banned, I probably paid like $200 for this, but she's about $300 right now. I'm really happy with this leader. One of the things I like about some of these specific Nami alts in the game is this one's from East Blue Nami, so she has the old tattoo on her arm. I really like that. Next up is going to be Arlong from OPO3. OPO3 is all these monochrome leaders, which I love, and I don't know if they'll ever bring them back, but if they don't, I could see these Korean Market Watch persons spiking a lot. Arlong is going for about 50 bucks. Let's see if I could scroll this spreadsheet down a little bit. Next up, we have Kuro. He's going for about 45 bucks. That's probably close to what I paid for him. Some of these leaders haven't gone up a much. Here's Ace. He's going for about $100. I ended up trading an SP OPO5 Uta. So I definitely came out the bad end of that, but I'm not mad at it. I really wanted it because Ace is one of my favorite characters up there, Law. Probably more of a favorite character for me than Law, so I was really happy to get that when I got it. Lucci, he's going for about 30 bucks. Probably paid close to that for him. Linlin, she's going for about 50, and I paid about probably 20 bucks. Then we have Iceberg, he's going for about 30. And Katakuri, he's going for about 120. I probably paid $80 for this leader. This leader is amazing looking, and he's one of my favorite looking leaders in the game for sure. Next up is going to be the OPO4 leaders. We have Queen, pretty negligible. If you've been paying attention, the previous sets were all 8 leaders. The first 2 sets are 8 leaders, and then they moved to 6. And so from now on, it'll just be 6 leaders. Queen's about 30 bucks. Next up is Vivi. This is the most expensive leader in the set. Vivi's going for about 120. I wanted this card really badly for a long time. Waited out, probably got it for about 45 bucks. I just love this X in the background has the Straw Hat Crew doing it. Honestly, as a Market Watch person, this card's very underrated for its art, but I just love Vivi in general. Who doesn't love Vivi? Crocodile, $70. This is yellow purple crocodile. People like to call this Lakers crocodile. Pretty sick card. Probably got him pretty cheap. It's Isho. Probably got him for about 20 bucks. He's around 30. Honestly, not a fan of this alt. Doflamingo, he's going for about 80. Rebecca going for about 80. Hopefully we could power through some of these. Here's some of my favorite looking leaders in the game. They really killed it with the set. These three look gorgeous to me. Luffy, Sabo, and Enel, or Enel, depending on how you like to say it. I've heard some people say that. Sabo's going for about 30. I actually pulled this from an OPO5 box. I went to the Bandai store the release day of OP9, and they had OPO5 there. In hindsight, it was crazy that I even ripped any of those boxes. But the OP9 box I didn't pull it, but wanted poster Shanks, and the OP5 box I actually pulled the Uta SP, which I traded for the Ace Leader, and the Sabo. So I was very happy. It's crazy. OPO5 is a set where you could get a leader and an SP in the same box. Weird set if you're into stuff like that. Belove is going for about 25 bucks. Kind of always been that. Rosie is going for about 20 bucks. Probably got him for like 15. Nothing crazy. Sakazuki's 25. I got him for 17 before he was unbanned, and he's had his ups and downs. And now Luffy, this NL used to be crazy, but he's about 45 bucks or 40 bucks. This Luffy's about 95, probably gonna easily be 100 bucks here soon. Which is cool. It's a Luffy Leader, so it makes sense. Next up we have OPO6. The set, whenever I think about it having the waifu leaders and then some bums, which is cool. But as far as the bums go, we got Hody Jones and Gecko Moria, everyone's two favorite villains. Uh, no offense if you're fans of them. Hody is $5, which reflects how popular of a character he is, and Gecko Moria is about 15 bucks, which is pretty cheap. Next up, we have. Let me set this to the side now. We have Reiju. Reiju is about 35 bucks. She used to be a lot more expensive. Perona's 50 bucks. That's pretty relevant, pretty stable for her price for her. And this Yamato 70. I've seen her be 90. And I have Uta for 45. Overall, all these leaders look really, really good. If I had to pick one that's my favorite, I'd say probably the Reiju one, but I mean Yamato looks amazing also. Next up we have OPO7. This is bringing back the art style where it's like the character and their supporting cast, not really the face cards. And OPO7 has some really interesting leaders in it. Don't know what band I was thinking with some of them, but obviously these two, Bonney and Boa, are going to be the premier leaders. Bonney being very meta relevant, Boa being the waifu, up there with Nami. This Boa goes for about 170, which is awesome. This Bonney is going to go for about 70. And then third highest in the set is going to be this Vegapunk. He just started climbing recently. I think this card looks really, really awesome. He goes for about 60 bucks. Foxy goes for about 15. Lucci goes for about 15. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Lucci goes for about 15. And then this Dragon also goes for 15. You're going to see a lot of these, like, whatever leaders are going to go for around $15. It seems like below 15, you have to be really, really bad of a leader that no one wants. Honestly, if you see an alt leader for below 15 bucks, it's worth buying, except for maybe Hody Jones. But Marco, very, very provocative art style for Marco. Can't say I've seen this image of him before. He's going for about 15 bucks. Then we have Carrot going for about 30 bucks. I've actually pulled both of these. I've pulled Marco twice. He was probably the first leader I ever committed to seriously and put a lot of time into. Pudding is 30 bucks. And then we have Chopper. He's going for about 45. He's the one that's climbing the most, which makes sense. He's a lot of people's favorite Trot and just a really, really cool character. Post and pre-time skip for certain people. $15 for Calgara. And then King is going to be $10, which I think is pretty undervalued, if you ask me. If you're someone who plays the game, one of the best things about the leaders is like they kind of reflect their abilities. You know, Shanks's leader ability, Blackbeard's leader ability is pretty accurate. I'd say Buggy's leader ability is pretty accurate. Like lore accurate abilities. If you play the game a lot, you know I'm talking about and watch the show. So that's one of the reasons I like a lot of these OP9 leaders. It's one of the first sets I really gravitated towards. Right now, the Luffy leader's been cooking on the set. He's one of the most expensive traditional alt leaders in the game. He's going for about 90 bucks, which is awesome. I actually probably got him for around 30 bucks. Shanks, I actually pulled this on the release day of OP9. I've had this exactly ever since. He's going for about 35 bucks, which is cool. Not mad at that. Buggy's 20, Blackbeard is 25. Let's give it up for the four emperors. These leaders have seen more expensive days. Robin is 50, which really reflects where the market's going. People are deciding they want these, you know, waifu characters, the straw hats, over the four emperors, and Lim is $15. And now we have OP10. One of my favorite leaders to ever play. It's one of the leaders I've had the most success with will be Yellow Kid. He's going for about 15 bucks, which is criminal. Sugar is going for about 20 bucks. And then we have Smoker. I love this leader also, $15. Law, $20. In hindsight, OP10 has some of the most fun leaders. Caesar Clown is really fun. He's going for about 10 bucks, and Usopp's going for about 20. It's a disappointment this Usopp didn't get the God Usopp card, but maybe we'll see God Usopp sometime soon in this video. Next up, we have OP11. Here we have the king of the cards I was talking about, where there are just $15 bums. No offense, but these four are all going to be $15 if I can grab them. Kobe, Shirahoshi, Katakuri, and Jinbei. So they're pretty much not too meta relevant, and they're not the most popular characters in the show. But if you're someone who plays the game, it's definitely worth picking these up. I could definitely see these leaders, each one of these, having a chance to be meta. So for $15, it's pretty good. Obviously, if they're meta, they would see prices more similar to these cards. This Nami has a lot going for it. Not only is it meta, but it's very collectible. It's a very good shot of Nami. Same with the Snake Man Luffy. Both are meta and collectible. This Nami's going for about 80 bucks, and Luffy's going for about 50, which is awesome. Hopefully there's not too much glare going on. Let me double check. Here we have Kuzan. He's going for about $15. And then we're going to go to Zoro. He's going to be the most expensive leader in the set. He's about $65. A lot of his value is attached to his meta relevance. I can easily see him staying at this price once he's heavily phased out the meta, just because it's Zoro. And once the precedent has been $60 for so long, it'll just be like that. So next up we have Koala, 20 bucks. Rayleigh, 20 bucks. This is probably one of the leaders I've overpaid the most for. I paid about $50 for him. Sanji's 20 bucks. Rosinante, $15, which is awesome. Next up is OP13. We're getting close to the current. These leaders are pretty iconic for the characters, and they're pretty recent, so their value kind of reflects. One of the cheapest ones, Bonney, she's going to be $25. She might be good in the future. Ace and Sabo will not be in this video because they're in my I'm using them competitively right now, and they're just chilling in their deck boxes. But the Sabo's 20 bucks and Ace is 60 bucks. So I'm sure you're familiar with those OP13 leaders. Luffy is going to be $55, and leader Emu is going to be $40. And then Roger is going to be a nice $45. These leaders, a lot of people didn't like the leaders in this set. Like this Luffy, it's an image that we've got multiple times. But as far as these two go, I think they nailed Emu and Roger. This Roger is one of my favorite looking leaders in the whole game. It's very reminiscent of the OP9 Luffy also. Next up, we're going to have some more special sets. EBO1 is going to be Hannibal, Kyros, and Odin. I believe a lot, I never opened EBO1, but I'm pretty sure the pull rates for leaders are a bit higher. But Odin seems to be the chase. This Odin leader looks so much better than the OP1 Odin leader. So this one's going for about $100, which is awesome. I probably got this leader, I don't remember how I got it, but I traded for it in some capacity. Kyros is 35 and Hannibal's 20 bucks. Next up, we're gonna go over a leader I got on a deal, massive deal. It's going to be the EVO2 Luffy. Love this leader. I've really liked this art ever since they announced it, and it looks sick. It's a green purple Luffy, really iconic place in the meta. And if you know where this image is kind of evoking where it's from, I think you'll dig that leader too. Next up is one of the most underrated leaders. This leader has the same hit rate as this leader, but I guess because it wasn't as meta, never reached the same heights because it's not Luffy. But I think this Sanji leader, super underrated. PRVO1 was also notoriously hard to pull. I actually got exactly 2 PRVO1 boxes, and this was in one of them. Didn't realize how hard it was to pull at the time. Still wasn't very familiar with leaders, but he's going for about 130. I don't know if I said this. Luffy's going for about 450, which is probably one of the most expensive cards so far. Next up, aside from the OP1 cards, is going to be a card from a premium Bandai set, which they're going to start doing more of, it seems. But it's going to be Usopp. He's going for about 130 bucks. I really love this leader. This is what the OP10 leader should have been. He's pretty limited. He sold out pretty fast, and there was never a second wave. So really happy to have that leader. Next up are just some chill starter deck leaders. We have SC21 Luffy and SC22 Newgate. I really like collecting these. I just made it a goal to make sure I buy these when they come out. And this guy shot up to 60 bucks. This guy's 15. This Luffy just looks crazy. There's like a huge, crazy color in the background. He's doing a sick Gear 5 pose. So I can see why he's expensive now. And it's Luffy. I always thought it was a beautiful looking card, and I was collecting leaders. Next up is the 3rd anniversary. This was the second tournament I ever won. It was a pre-release tournament, and I was feeling really confident. And these will always be near and dear to my heart. Also undervalued. They have the little stamp. They're leaders. It's the three brothers. Love these cards. The Luffy's about 60. Sabo is about 10, and Ace is about 25. These two haven't really ever moved up. This guy's seen crazy ups and downs. And that's going to do it for my leader collection. Tallying all those up with one card that's been missing, it's going to be an OP1 leader I missed. If you're paying closely attention, you probably notice. It's going to be the OP1 Luffy, and I actually happen to have a pre-errata version. Set one of your supernovas Shaw type characters cards, blah blah blah. This is a raw pre-errata Luffy. Easily the most expensive card I own. Probably has the most potential also. So putting all these leaders together, that comes around, if you've been counting, to around $10,366. If my math is correct. The OP1 leaders are doing the bulk of the work there. And then you have a good amount of $100 leaders. EVO2 Luffy doing a lot of legwork there. And yeah, so the Usopp's 130 if I didn't say. Next up, this is where things get dicey. So where we have my personal collection. First off, I'm going to start off with my English 2nd anniversary cards. So I have them laid out behind me. So I ended up buying the 2nd anniversary, and a friend of mine was also pretty new to the game. I ended up having him buy it, and ended up buying his singles off of him. So I have a good amount of pretty much 2 copies of every 2nd anniversary card, except for the Shanks character. I ended up selling one for about 30 bucks, which I'm not too mad about. So I'll just go in the order that's set here. I have this Buggy character. I love this art. If you see it out of a top loader, or even here, maybe you could capture it. There's a lot of foil on the sword and the hook, and it has the whole cross guild in it. This card looks pretty, like, really amazing, I think. This card's 20 bucks. So I have 2 of them, so it's about 40 bucks. Next up is Blackbeard and Law. Blackbeard fighting Law. This art is so good. So underrated if you ask me. Obviously, the 2nd version set's pretty hard to get. Obviously, the one I got for myself was 90 bucks, so it's paid off a huge ton already. Both these Blackbeards are $60 each, which is a good 120. And it's 2 of my favorite characters in the whole show. Next up is Luffy. fighting Kaido. Also, just amazing shot. There's not a lot of cards in the game like this where it's two characters fighting each other. This Luffy goes for about 70 bucks a pop, which is awesome. Next up is going to be the leaders. I believe I missed the Shanks somewhere in here. Here's the Shanks. Try to have these in order. Shanks also fighting a character, very thematic for what they did here. This goes for about 40 bucks. Love this art. I could never see myself getting rid of like having one of these cards, one of each. So as far as leaders go, we'll start with Luffy. Love this leader. I also love Black Purple Luffy. He's one of my favorite leaders to ever play in the game. It's one of the few cards with the whole crew on it. All these cards are gonna have the crew on it, which is like when they first announced this, I was like, I gotta get this, dude. So this looks amazing. That Luffy's going for about 250 a pop, which is an easy $500. Next up is Blackbeard. This is Blackbeard or Buggy. This is Buggy with his whole crew. He goes for about $90 a pop, which is 180 together. Next up, we have Blackbeard. One of the cool details about this Blackbeard is you can kind of see the dark fruit as a circle around him. Hopefully this captures it. But I know the camera's a little off center in this video too. But this Blackbeard goes for about $100 each, which is a good $200. Which these second rich cards is already a good chunk of change. The Shanks with his crew, some good hockey going around. It's also about $100 each, which is awesome. Obviously, the lowest listed TCG is much higher, but that's just what I got. Next up, are going to be some random alts. These are just some Luffy alts I've collected. This isn't my entire, like, everything I have. Like, I have cards like this Treasure Rare, Lucky Roo. I have a ton of alts, Perfume Femur. This guy, I'm not going to include every card I own in the video, just cards I thought that were worth mentioning. Cards that are spiking a lot recently and have a lot of upswing in the future. So OP13 Luffy, this is a really beautiful SEC. The moment this guy announced and it came out, it was cheap. I said I gotta have it. Just having the Straw Hat logo. I like the red background. It's awesome. He goes for about 65 bucks. Same with this guy, which I got two of. I ended up pulling both of them. I opened 4 EVO2 cases I pre-ordered. Pulled both of these, which was awesome at the time. It's much more expensive, but he's cooled off at about 65 bucks. Love that art. OPO9 Luffy, pulled this guy, 45 bucks. Really, really nice art. It's really stylized. It's almost like shell shaded. If you ever play like a Borderlands game. Pure B Gear 5. I pulled this in the last Pure B box I opened, so can't be too mad I opened it anymore because this card is now at around $200. It is one of the best looking Luffy alts in the game to me. It's Gear 5. It's a really good post. I would love to take out the top loader and show you, but it has a lot of foil going on. There's some hockey. There's if you see at the right angle, there's like a circular waves coming around his fist. It's an awesome card. Next up are going to be some cards I won from tournaments. Disclaimer, did not win these two, but I did buy them while they were pretty cheap. Ace and Sabo. This Ace is about 75 bucks. This Sabo is about 70 bucks. I knew I had to have these cards because they're drawn by other popular mangaka artists. And I thought that was a really cool idea, similar to the JJK alts. So I said I'll get it. Next up is going to be Sabo. I played in one, my first store treasure cup, played in 3. First one I played in, I ended up winning this, and I was using Sabo, so I was super proud of this. It's also a time where I was actually feeling really down on myself, like I was never going to be half decent at this game, which I'm still trying to be good at this game. So it was really cool to earn this card. I had to work really hard for it. They were really tough matches. And this Sabo goes for about 280 bucks. Same goes with the Ben Beckman. I had to win a tournament full of a bunch of really, really tough players in the Bay Area. And this Ben Beckman goes for about $250. This secured me a Nats invite, my first one. So I'm also very, very proud of having that card. Really just happy I did it. Pudding. This is from the store treasure cups in May. I actually have 2 of these, but the other one is somewhere else at the time, right now of this video. I love this card because it's Sanji in the background. I love the way she looks thinking about Sanji. I really like Whole Cake Island as an arc. And this was like the first tournament I won that wasn't a local, like a little bit more serious tournament. So I was also really, really stoked to get this card. And then the Tashigis. These are from the store Treasure Cups where I got the Sabo. Um, I was also happy. One of these came with the Sabo, another one I got fourth at. I don't know if I've been saying the price of the pudding, but the pudding is about 65 and the Tashigis are about 40 each, which they've also cooled off a good chunk. I'm trying to separate these by different types. So these next up are going to be promos, which I think are pretty sick. The first one's going to be a Piece Luffy. I actually caught someone selling it for 90 bucks and I managed to snipe it. Uh, this card's awesome. It has one of the other cards with the whole Straw Hat crew, Onigashima in the background. I love this card. And next up is going to be the PSA Boa. This is subscribed to PSA after this came out. This is the first one I got. Uh, Actually, I lied. The first one I got was Shanks, which won't be in this video. I actually traded an alt SEC OP11 Luffy for this, which is $30 at the time. They both were. And I'm really happy to have this boa. She's about $110. Next up is going to be this Nami, which is about 70 bucks right now. This is being market manipulated. I don't know what to say about this card. I had 4, sold 3 at a reasonable price, and I decided I'll just hold on to 1 and see what happens with it. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, I have this card for this video. Next up is the Japanese second anniversary. I didn't get this when it came out, this set, but I got it after it came out for around like $280, $280. I just really wanted it. Obviously, I have the mat. Still have the case, the dice, the deck box. I still use to this day. Probably should have kept it sealed, but even though I didn't keep it sealed, this Luffy's about 140. And I love the way these cards look. Like this ace. This ace, the way they did the fire and the compass and the stamp and the nameplate is just one of my favorite looking cards in the game. This ace goes for about 70 bucks. And then this Zoro, it just looks absolutely insane with the foiling. It looks way better out the top loader. The Zoro goes for about 100. Next up is Zeus. I wanted a playset for my yellow kid deck. And I ended up buying 4 of the mats. I caught the mats on a restock, so I got these for about 35 a pop with a mat. I suppose if this channel ever grows, I'll give away the extra mats for some type of giveaway because I still have them. But these Namis or these Zeuses are about 140 each right now, which is a lot of money for 4 cards. 140 each. So next up is this Bonney. I thankfully live next to a Bandai store, so when the illustration box came out for one day at the Bandai stores, the illustration box EX, I was able to get both of these. I don't know if I said Nami, but this is Bonney from Egghead, and this is a $250 Bonney. And this Lucci from the same box is $50. Quite a discrepancy there. But I do not mind. Next up, it's going to be the Gold Dawn I have. Some I've pulled, some was gifted to me, some I traded. You know, like this Luffy, Gear 5 Dawn, you'll see. So first off, Pudding. I actually pulled this from my first Pure VO2 box. Got it for $90. Very, very happy with this card. I love if you ever see it like raw out of a sleeve, there's foiling along the border here. And then there's like a wave eyelid going around the eyeball. It's a gorgeous card. And has Sanji in the eyeball. I love that. Gear 5 Luffy. I actually traded an SP Stussy for this, which the Stussy is also very expensive right now. I guess you could say I lost on that deal, but I was very happy to have a Luffy Gold Dawn, and I figured that was a meta card. This Yamato I pulled from like my third PRVO2 box. Very, very happy about this one. I love the like Oni mask and the Japanese kanji. Such a cool card. This Ace Gold Dawn. I traded like a ton of cards for this singular card. This is back when like OP10 came out, so it's still pretty expensive. Um, but a lot of those cards are no longer valued. Like I traded a bunch of SEC Aces. They were like 30 bucks at the time. Um, Either way, happy to have this card. Ace is one of my favorite characters. This Luffy Gold Dawn, sorry, is $100. This Yamato Gold Dawn is $130, and this Ace Gold Dawn is $190. Next up is Kid. I actually bought this for $70, and it's $40. Very happy to have it. Kid's one of my favorite characters, and I don't regret it at all. Next up is Rosie. This was gifted to me. This is $65. And Rosinante is one of my favorite characters because of Law. And these two gold Dawn are so perfect together. I mean, this Law Dawn is amazing. The logo, the room, the like spotted print on the Dawn. This card's 170. It's awesome. Jinbei, not worth mentioning, honestly, but it's a straw hat, so I thought I would. Gotta give straw hats their respect. This Jinbei is 45 bucks. Okay, we're almost done. Next up is going to be the SPs and treasure rares. I'm sure this interests a lot of you market watch goers right now. Ace. There was a time while I was collecting alt leads that I thought I was going to collect SPs, but I figured it'd be way too much money and work. I slightly regret it, but I still have some SPs from that. And Ace was one of the first ones I bought because he's one of my favorite characters, and he was also one of the cheapest when I bought him. I think he was like 60 bucks. And I thought it was criminally underrated for the way the clouds and fire and just how gorgeous this card looks. Um, and so yeah, I got Ace for pretty good deal. He's about 240 right now. Next up is Newgate. I actually got this because I thought I wanted a playset for my Shanks deck. But I actually bought this day one for around like 130 because the White Beard Pirates are probably my favorite crew in the whole series. One of. And I just love this photo. There's so much detail in it. I love the whole crew. It's gorgeous. Rayleigh, one of my favorite characters. I got this at a local card store for about 30 bucks. Pretty a while after OP11 came out. This is a random top loader. And I actually really like his recent story in the manga. So happy to have this card. Luffy Taro. I actually ended up trading. It was right when OP11 came out. I believe I traded. Uh, I don't even remember, but I traded for this card. I think I traded a card that's worthless now, so I do feel really bad about that. Um, Sorry, hold on. I'm losing myself. This Newgate's $200. I need to stop telling stories. This Rayleigh is $70. And this Luffy Taro's $270. This Luffy Taro's awesome. The SPs in this set have the Jolly Rogers in the corners, like playing cards, which is really, really cool. Sanji, one of my favorite SPs. I think OP10 has some really good looking SPs. And this one it just looks really swaggy. It's a time skip Sanji, so it's not outfit you see a lot. Love that. The last box of OP12 I ever opened had the show Zorojuro, and I almost sold it at $80 so many times, but people just didn't want to buy it on it every time they flipped through my binder. And now he's about 160, and this Sanji's 95. Law, I got this because I adore Law, and this is probably my favorite card in the game. This 7 cost Law. This Law goes for about $165, and it's just gorgeous. Next up is treasure rares. I have a treasure Sanji, but I couldn't find it in time for this video. It's in like some deck box somewhere, and a top loader. But I won't include in the video. But if you're curious, I have the treasure OP13 Luffy that I pulled. He's about $60. I actually bought this card when the Rosinante Leader came out, thinking this card was going to be meta, and I was really excited to play Rosinante, but that'll never happen. But I got this card for about like 17 bucks. This law is about 80 bucks. And then these aces, I got these when the starter deck Ace and Newgate deck got announced. I thought these cards were going to be meta in that. Funny how that works out. These cards are about 80 a pop. Lowest listing on TCG is like 90 to 100, which is awesome. Next up is, we're pretty close. It's going to be my manga event collection. While I was collecting alt leads, when I gave up on SPs, it was around the time OP11 was out, and it seemed pretty much confirmed that every single set will have a manga event. And I already had several Divine Departures for my Shanks deck. I had one that I was keeping for my collection because I just thought it was an amazing card, etc., etc. So I made the commitment to like manga events pretty aggressively. And a lot of decks I actually were interested in, like Smoker and Kid, use them. So I actually have a collection of manga events, and that's definitely paid off. So the first one is going to be the Cross Skill event. Probably got this for about 80 bucks. This is in around 250 right now. The printing on their names in here, the Jester King, there's so much amazing stuff. Um, you can pick apart this card all day for how good it looks. Next up is My Era Begins. A lot of people forget this moment. It's from Paramount War. Really like this moment for Blackbeard. It's about 200 bucks. Really good looking card. This is one of my favorite looking cards in the game. I actually have a poster of this card from the DeYoung One Piece Museum, and it's Shanks and his whole crew, but it's like the biggest ore farm ever. And these two are both 200 bucks. Next up is the Dead Man's Game. I probably got this card for around 70 bucks. It's around 115 right now. Love this card. This card is amazing. It's also so meta. It's funny. Both bursts. I ended up trading a Gum Gum Red Hawk event and like a Shirahoshi ult for this. And this card's about 75 bucks. Wish I still had the Red Hawk, but I paid like 20 bucks for that card. Whatever. Next up is Gear 2. I bought this card for about 30 bucks and it's 175. I'm sure everyone knows about this card by now, but this card is amazing. I love this moment in the show. It's one of my favorite moments. Next up is Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. This card's amazing. I really like Luffy and Doflamingo. I really like Dressrosa, honestly. Um, I know it's a controversial take, but I need to take it back. Gear 2 is 175. Red Hawk is 60. And now I have two Honesty Impacts. Got these for about 24 pop. These are 80 each. I love Kobe. I love Manga Events. I just love the way they look. So that's that. Divine Departure. I got two of these bad boys. They're about 80 bucks a pop. I just love this moment. Then we have the new Divine Departure. I probably got these for also 30 bucks also. I also got this for like 40 bucks. I love this one. This is one of the only cards I've seen this in the game. The text is moved to the side. It doesn't take up the full card. And so they could put the speech bubble here. This card is sick. Also one of the best moments in the show, like action wise. If you're wondering where Gum Gum Giant is, I do not have Gum Gum Giant. I'm planning on getting in the future. Seems like I may have missed the boat on that card. Next up is going to be the wanted posters. I actually pulled this from the last OP13 box I got, where I won the store Treasure Cup Sabo. That store was selling OP13 for 135. I bought one box. I think it was like their second to last box. Pulled this Sabo when I got home. Waited to get him to open it. Went perfect with it. And I love Sabo. He's easily my top 3 favorite characters. I also should say I made the commitment to collect wanted posters, probably somewhere around OP10 because they're really cheap. I think I traded like some alts that are dirt cheap now for this Blackbeard wanted poster that was like 70 bucks at the time. And I thought these look so good. I love the OP9 wanted poster design that they've moved forward with. And I thought I just wanted to collect them since I already had the Shanks one. The Buggy one was $60. I traded for this. I was like, it works out. So I ended up buying the Luffy one. Put this Sabo to the side. Here's the OP9 wanted posters. I have multiple of the Shanks. Shanks is also one of my favorite characters. Whose isn't? But this Sabo, 180, Buggy, 170, Blackbeard, 170. Luffy is going for about 600. Love this card. I just thought I was like this when I first started playing the game, I was like, I gotta have this card. Like around when it came out, I got this for about 120. Um, I just thought this card looked perfect, so I had to have it. I pulled this opening day of OP9. This Shanks is about 250, and I have two of them. Next up are going to be the OG wanted posters. I'm missing Doflamingo, so if someone could slide that for me. I'm also missing the rest of the OP13 ones because they're so expensive. I plan to figure out my life decisions first before I commit to buying those. Who knows? Maybe the wanted poster collection ends here. But regardless, I have these. Doflamingo, I'm sure I can get. But Kid is 150, which is awesome. Kaido is 150, which is awesome. And this Luffy is around 300 bucks. A little bit more for Lossless on TCG, but we'll say 300. Also very awesome looking card. I'm not a fan of these older wanted posters, but now that they're older, I'm a huge fan of them. I'm not gonna lie. I love Kid and I love Luffy, but I like the new design a lot more. And then last, but definitely not least, is going to be what I would say some of my grails. Right when the Dodgers Luffy got announced, I live in California. I was like, you know what? I gotta go to that game. Uh, So I got tickets. Right when I got tickets, I said, well, if I'm getting the Dodgers Luffy, I might as well get the BVB Luffy, and I bought this for about 150 on TCG Player, which is awesome. I actually bought this for $70 when it first came out on eBay, and the seller canceled on me, so it's pretty sad. But I have these two. The BVB Luffy is about 400 bucks. The Dodgers Luffy is about $900, which I did get at the game, which was awesome. Next up is we have the Manga Law. This is the first and only manga I pulled. I got this on release day of OP10. I went to the Bandai store, got one box, and it had this Manga Law, which was awesome. He's going for about 800 bucks. Next is going to be the magazine Luffy. I actually went to the Kinokuniya in-person store. We're able to get the magazine for $25 each. So I got two of these. These are about 80 bucks. This is just one of my favorite looking cards in the entire game. And next is going to be one of the cards I am most proud of pulling. It is going to be the Treasure Campaign Luffy. Looks like a cereal, acts like a cereal, not a cereal. But man, this card is so hard to pull. If you know about this card, if you know, you know. This card's probably about 1 in every 12 cases of a pack that comes along with the box. It's while supplies last, and that pack is now extinct. It was only for the month of November. This card's super limited. I love just like regular, simple looking Luffy, you know. Um, I love this card. I like that it says One Piece card game. It has the chevron. So this card goes for about 1,500 bucks, and I think it's super undervalued. And if you're counting along in this long, long video, that totals out to about $25,400. So the reason I'm doing this video, let me know if you think I should consider selling my collection. I'm not sure how sellable, the market out there. This is $25, 25 grand in air quotes, but in reality, I'd have to sell all these at once, which is very realistic. Thankfully, I have like some type of collections. I'm sure there are people out there that would be happy with buying multiple manga events or buying the sequential all the leaders as one bulk purchase. I'm sure these will be more than happy to sell. I'm sure there's people that would be happy to buy the wanted posters and SPs. So I feel like I have some pretty sellable cards. The second anniversary cards, blah blah blase blase. But uh I'm not sure if I should just continue collecting and be patient, or um I should liquidate and try to just play the game min rarity and just be chill with my life. I don't know. Let me know what you would do if you're in my shoes. If you could comment, just say if you would sell or not. If you made it all the way to the end of the video.